Upstate Stars, showcasing our community's sports and other hobbies. We celebrate the activities that capture the hearts and imagination of people from all across the region. From baseball to basketball to golf. Almost anything that you can think of. Upstate Stars is there at the event, interviewing the people that give it their all.
Upstate Stars is proudly sponsored by Roberts Insurance Agency of New York and New York Central Mutual Insurance. We're at the Field of Dreams Sports Complex in North Utica at a Raging Rhinos soccer club practice. There are some really dedicated and hardworking girls. What quickly became evident was that they love playing together and really support one another. Stay tuned as we interview some of them and see them in action.
My name is Julia Bjornland and I live in Utica.
Tell me about why you originally got started playing soccer.
I originally got started playing soccer because my grandpa and my father played and I wanted to play too.
Describe to me what you like most about playing soccer.
I like playing soccer most with all my friends because we work hard together.
Is there a lesson that you have learned through playing soccer that helps you out in your everyday life?
To never give up and always try as best as I can.
What do you think makes your team work well together?
We all cooperate with each other and we bond outside of soccer, so we're really a good team, like together.
What do you specifically as an individual add to your team?
I try to help everyone as best as I can and lead the team a little bit just so we can all do well in games and at practice as well.
Tell me how you mentally prepare yourself before games.
I mentally prepare myself by saying that I can get through it and I have to be aggressive and work hard every time I play and always listen to my coach.
What would you say is the most difficult part about soccer?
The most difficult part is probably trying to learn something new and apply it in games as well as in practice. You have to keep practicing.
Tell me what it's like to be part of your team.
I love being part of this team. We all work well together. We're all really good friends, and we're all from different schools, so we get a little bit of everything here.
What are some of your favorite things about competing?
Competing, I love being aggressive personally, just being with everyone on the team and battling it out on the field, so try and win.
What type of career are you interested in?
I want to go into graphic design or advertising when I'm older.
My product is flawless every time.
Their quality and service is second to none.
What has most impressed me about them is their constant yearning to please the customer.
My favorite thing about Master Images is absolutely the customer service.
The main thing is the quality is excellent. I wouldn't go anywhere else.
I'm Rachel Madden and I'm from New Hartford.
Rachel, tell me about why you originally got started playing soccer.
I started when I was really young, playing ASO with all my friends, and then I got into indoor with Coach Bertrand and just kept playing for fun.
Describe to me what you like most about playing soccer.
My favorite part is definitely the team. We're like a family. We hang out at practice and then outside of soccer. It's just so much fun.
Is there a lesson that you have learned through playing soccer that helps you out in your everyday life?
Oh yeah, there are a ton of them. The most important is probably that passion and hard work can really get you anywhere.
What would you say makes your team work well together?
We're all friends and we're never competitive in a mean way with each other. We try to help each other and push each other to do our best.
What do you think you specifically as an individual add to your team?
I think I add a lot of personality to the team and kind of like bring everyone together sort of way.
Tell me how you mentally prepare yourself before games.
Before games, I just like to meet up with the team early before the games and just talk about stuff and what we're going to do during the game, who we're playing, stuff like that.
What is the most powerful or the best memory that you have so far in your sports career?
The best memory is definitely when we beat the #1 team in our league a few years ago, and we were so excited and we all went to Panera after for bagels.
What would you say is the most difficult part about soccer?
The most difficult part would be losing. It's tough to learn to lose in a good way, but it definitely helps you in life.
Tell me what it's like to be part of your team.
It's so much fun. We're like a family. We're there for each other inside soccer and outside soccer to help with everything, and we're just great friends.
What are some of your favorite things about competing?
I really like the way it pushes you to challenge yourself and challenge your friends and just finding out how good you can be.
Last question, what type of career are you interested in?
I'm interested in going into law, hopefully. Maybe like criminal justice, something dramatic.
At NYCM Insurance, we insure homes and cars and boats and snowmobiles, but really, peace of mind for you and your family. Talk to a local independent insurance agent to see if NYCM Insurance is right for you.
I'm Isabelle Rudd. I'm from Ilion,
Okay.
New York.
Tell me why you originally started playing soccer.
I originally started playing soccer because my dad had a career in it in high school, and I've always played since I was 6, and I've wanted to progress on. So it's a really fun sport.
Describe what you like most about playing soccer.
I like the competitiveness and playing against other teams and winning.
What do you think makes your team work well together?
We all work well together because we're all from different areas from New York, so we all bring a different trait, so it helps out a lot.
What do you specifically as an individual add to your team?
I add aggressiveness because I'm a really good defender.
Tell me how you mentally prepare yourself before games.
I mentally prepare myself before games clearing my mind and taking a nap or something because it relaxes me.
What is the most powerful or the best memory that you have so far in your sports career?
My powerful memory would probably be getting my concussion from Modified.
Wow. Yeah, I guess that would be.
Yeah.
How long did that take to recover from?
About 2 months.
Oh my gosh, that's scary. What would you say is the most difficult part about soccer?
The most difficult part about soccer is probably losing and knowing you could have done better, but you've give your all, but it just sucks.
Tell me what it's like to be part of your team.
It's really fun to be part of my team because we're all a family, and it's just a bond that we all have, and it's really fun to be with new people.
What would you say are some of your favorite things about competing?
My favorite things about competing is meeting new people and seeing their skill level and knowing if we could be better than them, or if we lose we could always try harder and move on.
What type of career are you interested in?
I'm interested in psychology.
And do you know what you want to do with that?
I want to be a children's psychologist.
At NYCM Insurance, we insure homes and cars and boats and snowmobiles, but really, peace of mind for you and your family. Talk to a local independent insurance agent to see if NYCM Insurance is right for you.
Sophie Moire, and I'm from Ilion, New York.
Describe to me what you like most about playing soccer.
I like getting better, and it's really good if we win and get better, because then it just makes it the whole package.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there a lesson that you have learned through playing soccer that helps you out in your everyday life?
I would say that I learned that you can't live over mental mistakes. If you think that you can't do something and then you really can't, then you can't live that way.
What makes your team work well together?
I think that they're all a very welcoming people into the team, and if you're a new person, then you have to welcome the person and get along with them.
What do you think you specifically as an individual add to your team?
I think that I view the field very well, which helps me give the ball to other players in different positions and work the ball around the field.
Tell me how you mentally prepare yourself before your games.
I like to clear my head and just think about all the positive things that happen in the game instead of the breakdowns and bad situations.
What would you say is the most difficult part about soccer?
I think getting over mental breakdowns and mental mistakes, because then you can't play the rest of the game if you're worrying about one little thing that you messed up.
Can you tell me what it's like to be part of your team?
It's really fun because they're all nice people and that they talk to each other and they're not ignoring people and stuff.
What would you say are some of your favorite things about competing?
I like playing new people around in tournaments and stuff, and I like to win also.
What type of career are you interested in?
I want to be a physical therapist when I'm older.
All right. And like work with kids or teens?
Probably
Adults?
around teens age. Mm-hmm.
Upstate Stars is proudly sponsored by Roberts Insurance Agency of New York and New York Central Mutual Insurance. We are here at the Utica Curling Club in Whitesboro, New York, interviewing a few women who participate in many different leagues and bonspiels. Everyone was super friendly. The facility encourages anyone who has an interest in curling to stop in. They have members from 7 to over 90 years of age, as well as those in wheelchairs or with other disabilities.
My name is Barbara Feliz, and I'm from Utica, New York.
Okay, Barbara, tell me how you originally got started curling.
Well, it was about 15 years ago, and my next-door neighbor's mother introduced me to curling, and I felt that if Joan can do it at age 60, I think I could probably do it. So that's how I got involved.
Can you describe to me what you like most about curling?
I think the best part of curling is the team aspect, the traveling, being able to get out there, go to Canada, go to the Boston area, Cape Cod, to enjoy the sport with my friends and to be competitive, but yet it can be a friendly game.
So are you on a team then?
Well, basically I have a couple of teams that I do travel with. It's just depends on what the event is. There's a group that I travel out to the Boston area every other year. There's a group that I curl with locally here into the club. So it's a mixture of people.
Okay.
Basically, it's not one set team.
Gotcha. What would you say that you specifically, as an individual, add to any of your teams?
I think I'm a fun-loving person. I enjoy the game. I'm competitive. And I think that my sweeping techniques is very helpful when we really need it most.
What would you say is your most powerful or your best memory from your sports career? It doesn't necessarily have to be curling.
I remember I was coaching girls varsity softball, and we were in the B final games, and it was a tied game, and my catcher hit a line drive down the third base line, hit the chalk, we scored, we won the sectional Bs. So it was great.
Awesome. Can you tell me about how curling works? Maybe a little bit about scoring or...
you're a 4-member team. Each player throws 2 stones. The skip, who's basically the quarterback, is calling the shots. And if after all the rocks are thrown, then you look down in the house, and the skips or the vice skips will then see who is closest to the center or the button, and that's how the scoring takes place. So,
okay.
It's like they call it chess on ice.
All right, well, I'll ask you one more question. What would you say is the most difficult part about curling?
Starting in the fall and finishing in the spring. Because starting in the fall, you're just coming off from the summer, you're like, oh, I'm not ready to curl. And then in the spring and the end of March, it's like, oh, it's time to stop curling. So that's that lull of just the excitement of having to start, but yet not having then finishing. So that's to me, definitely.
At NYCM Insurance, we cover homes and autos all over New York, and it's time to see what's new at our house. We're local, just like you, and we'll help protect your biggest assets. Get a quote to see if NYCM Insurance is right for you.
Oh, my name is Susan Williams, and I live in the town of Western.
Tell me how you originally got started curling.
I saw the game for the first time when I was 10 years old at a snowmobile race in Boonville. And I kept going back and watching the game, though my father thought I was going to the ladies' room. And at that point in my life, I said, I am going to curl someday. And I got the opportunity about 20 years later, and I've been curling ever since.
So what do you think makes a team work well together?
A good team communicates, they know each other, they anticipate each other's shots, they know their strengths and they know their weaknesses, and they're always nice to each other.
What would you say that you specifically, as an individual, add to any of the teams that you're on?
Oh, it depends on the day. Some days I can make a takeout. Some days I can make a draw. Some days I know the strategy of the game and where the stone should be placed. It depends on the day.
Tell me how you mentally prepare yourself before a match.
If I really want to mentally prepare myself, I think about shooting the stone. And I go through the motions of in the hack, lifting back, plunging forward, looking at the broom, that whole step of delivering the stone. And it does help if I think about it before the game. It gets my mind going.
What would you say that some of your favorite things about competing are?
My favorite things about competing? Winning. Winning by just a little bit. Not winning by a huge score. And losing by a little bit if I have to lose by a little bit. Ties are my favorite.
Really? That's interesting.
Yes.
That means it was a good matchup.
Well, the spirit of curling means you don't humble your opponent. You just win.
What do you like best about curling?
The delivery and being out on a very clean white surface and watching to see what the stone is going to do, because you never know. There's always a surprise. There's always, I had no idea this was going to happen kind of event.
Okay.
So there's a lot of exciting things that happen even with the simplest and smallest games.
For those of you, including myself, that know nothing about curling, can you explain to me a little bit how maybe it works, scoring, about the stones, perhaps the teams?
There's always, you want 4 people on a team. There's 8 rocks, so each person throws 2 rocks, so you always get a second chance. It's scored like botch in that there's like a Pauline, but we call it the button. So the stone that's closest to the center of the house or the bullseye behind you is the score. Generally, it's divided into ends, like innings in a ball game. We call them ends. And it's sort of like shuffleboard also. It's sort of like botch. And you throw a stone like you're an archer.
Wow. Okay.
And the ice is sort of like a putting green in that it has highs and lows, it falls, it does different things. So you have to watch smooth. The ice. It's bubbly. It has a pebble on it. It's not smooth like hockey ice, because if it was that flat, it would be very hard to roll that 42-pound rock over the stone.
Okay.
So if you take a little bit of all kinds of sports and put them all together, you have curling.
Wow. So as the game goes on, you learn more how the ice is reacting?
Oh, yes. And the ice...
That's
part of the game. The skip has to watch what the ice is doing, and it changes throughout the game. What it does in the first end is not what it's doing in the 8th end. And if you have the team either side of you leave, then suddenly your ice gets very slow, and you've got to throw it just a little harder because it's a little cooler out on the shed.
Wow, that's really interesting.
So there's lots of things to be thinking about all the time.
At NYCM Insurance, our independent agents can get you the coverage you need to protect your home and auto, and help you have something left over for what you really want. Find out if NYCM Insurance is right for you.
My name's Liz Kato, and I now live in Rome, New York.
Liz, tell me how you originally got started curling.
I actually started curling. It was a family thing. My father started dating my stepmom, and we started curling as a way to get to know her. And now they still curl, and so do I. So we all curl as a family. My husband curls now, too, so we've got a good mixed team going.
Can you describe to me what you like most about curling?
I think the thing I like the most about curling is it's what we call a gentleman's sport. So you're very friendly back and forth to your other teammates and also your opponents. You call your own fouls. It's a very challenging game, yet very fun. And then it's got a great social aspect to it. You sit with your team after every game, your team and the other team, and share a drink and talk about work or family or friends or anything that you want. But it's a nice social aspect to the sport that I really enjoy.
So you're on different teams.
Yeah, depending on which league you play in, you might be on 2 or 3 different teams throughout the week. Again, you kind of usually have a different team for each league.
Well, what do you think as an individual that you add to any of your teams?
Oh, that's a good question, I guess. I guess my experience, I've curled for a long time. I started when I was about 11, so I've kind of grown up playing this sport. I've learned a lot, and I think I'm good at teaching new people how to curl, so that's one strength. And then I have been in a lot of different crazy situations before, so I have experience and the calm to kind of deal with those situations. So those are probably the strengths I have.
What would you say is the most difficult part about curling?
I always say curling is a game that's easy to do. I can have somebody out curling within an hour. It's a game that is impossible to master. So you spend your entire life trying to fine-tune everything. It's much like golf in that you try and perfect your swing. You have to perfect a lot of little things to be really, really good, and you're never perfect at it. So the constant challenge to always be working on your own performance and also the strategy of the game are definitely the most difficult things, trying to master the game.
All right, and the last question, what is the most powerful or the best memory from your sports career so far? It doesn't have to necessarily be curling.
Oh, well, mine would be curling, I'm sure. I've competed at some national level of curling when I was in high school and college. So I went to the Olympic trials one year, so that would probably be my best moment. Getting fifth in the country was pretty amazing, and nice to be that close to an Olympic sport.
Wow, that's awesome. Upstate Stars is proudly sponsored by Roberts Insurance Agency of New York and New York Central Mutual Insurance. We are here at Vista Lanes in Yorkville, New York. We are attending the Utica City Tournament. There are doubles and singles. It is an open tournament and walk-ins were welcome. Stay tuned as we talk to some of the bowlers who participated in this event.
My name is Paul Laporte, and I'm from Utica, New York.
Okay, and how did you get into bowling?
My father was in a bowling league, and my grandfather bowled as well. I got in at a really young age. My dad started bringing me along to his bowling league night, and then when I got old enough to lift the ball, I started doing it myself.
Okay, now you're on a team.
I do a couple different leagues. I do bowl on a team, and I bowl on a doubles league as well.
And right here, what specifically are you doing today?
This is the Utica City Tournament. It's held once a year. People from all around the city, they come in. It's kind of like the big event every year. There's a singles event and a doubles event, and there's also an award given for the person who has the highest score for both events combined. The most difficult part of bowling is I think it's definitely being consistent. When you come out here and you're doing things for the first time, you bowl and you just kind of grab the ball and go. But in order to become a really good bowler, you have to do things thousands and thousands and thousands of times and focus on really, really small things to become, to kind of get to that next level of being a really serious bowler.
Now, are there anything specifically personally that you do to prepare yourself for any matches or any games?
Well, when I try to prepare myself for a big event like this, I try my best to kind of keep relaxed. I try and avoid anything that's going to stress me out for a couple days, listen to some music that's going to kind of get me in the right mindset, and just kind of go over in my head what I want to do for the tournament, how I want to throw the ball, what equipment I want to use, and how I'm going to keep my head in the game.
Excellent. And one last question. What does bowling add to your life?
Bowling has been a part of my life for so long that I couldn't imagine not being in it. It's something that is more physical than a lot of people expect, especially when you're doing it at a serious level. And it's something that's it gives me a competition with other people, but more importantly, a competition with myself. And it's always pushing me to try and do better no matter how good I get.
Okay, my name is Paul Laporte Sr. I'm from here in Utica, New York.
And how did you get started in bowling?
How did I get started in bowling? I started in my mid-teens just for some friends and stuff, and then went on to leagues from there.
Interesting. And
currently, I'm the president of the local men's association. I'm the president of the local junior association, and I run the junior program here at Vista Lanes.
Excellent. So, now, what would you say keeps you bowling today?
The enjoyment of it. The enjoyment, the exercise. I love working with the kids. It's great to see the kids, especially with the kid that gets his first strike or his first spare, and they may not bowl really great, but it's just the enthusiasm that they have, and that's why I really like working with the kids.
Excellent. What would you say the most difficult thing about bowling is for you?
For me, it's the physical part. As you get older, things don't work like they used to, but it's the enjoyment that we're here for every day. What's great about bowling is anybody can do it at any age and any ability. It's a sport you can just be serious about it. As my son, who you guys already talked to, he has 5 300 games, a couple of 800 series, and then you get the ones that just come and have just to have fun, So anybody can do it. It's great. So.
Now, do you do anything personally, like mentally or physically, to prepare yourself for each match or any games?
Just try and mostly slow yourself down. You think, don't rush yourself. Don't get uptight about a shot. It's basically you against the lane. You're bowling against other people, but it's really an individual sport in the fact that no matter what they do, it's not going to affect what you do. Mm-hmm. It's not like football or baseball. So you just got to focus and get in your own head what you want to do and do it. That's all.
My name is Janice Zamorsky. I live in Utica, New York.
Okay, and how did you get started in bowling originally?
Oh, I got started in bowling when I met my husband back in 1975.
What would you say, you specifically do to prepare yourself for any individual games or matches beforehand?
We do a lot of practicing.
Excellent. What do you enjoy most about bowling?
Competition.
And if there were a young kid interested in getting into bowling, what would you tell him? Advice that you have?
Just have a lot of confidence and get the right equipment and get someone to help you to bowl.
Name's Ted Zamorsky from Utica, New York.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you, how did you get started into bowling originally?
My mother turned around and started me at the early age of 5 at one of the local bowling alleys.
Mm-hmm. What would you say keeps you bowling today? What do you enjoy most about it?
The excitement, the challenge.
Mm-hmm. Are you on any teams?
I bowl twice a week.
Now I heard you were the former president.
Former president of the local association and also the New York State Bowling Association.
Are there any difficult parts about bowling, things that you find kind of challenging?
Well, the oil patterns. They change from house to house, tournament to tournament. Mm-hmm. So you compensate that with your bowling equipment.
Now, if there was a child that wanted to get into bowling, what advice you would have for him? What would you say?
Start off with the junior bowling programs at your local bowling centers. They're good. Mm-hmm. As you get older, always look for a person to help you coach, because you're always learning something new every day, no matter how young or old you are.
Now, one last question. Before a match or before a game, is there anything you do to mentally prepare yourself?
Not really. Just try to figure out what the oil pattern might be for the day and try a couple pieces of bowling equipment, different balls, different areas of the lane, and you figure out the pattern easily.